So in this video, I'm going to talk about a couple of concerns that I usually jump to when thinking about any project that I'm developing, and I'm going to try and follow these practices with the Smart House project. So the first is testing. I haven't done a whole lot of test-driven development myself, strict test-driven development that is, but I know the benefits of testing. And so one of the main reasons that a person wants to put tests in a code base is because it gives you a metric to actually rate the health of the system. And so for this particular project, something I want to use is a framework called GoogleTest. And GoogleTest is awesome because it allows you to, using pure abstract base classes in C++ or what other people might be familiar with as, I'm going to call it interfaces. No C++ blasphemy meant, but GoogleTest allows you to effectively mock out different objects using pure abstract bases. So you can essentially inject those mock objects in place of the actual, concrete implementations of a given type. And so I'm going to use Google Test and try and follow test-driven development using that. On the build side, I'm going to use CMake, which is recommended by professional C++ developers. I've used that as well, and I think it's a good technology to use for this sort of thing. Also, I'm just familiar with it, so the learning curve is lower. Sometimes that's kind of a beneficial concern to take into account. I don't have to learn something new. Doxygen I'm going to use for the documentation generation. That's something that I haven't used before, and so I really, I'm interested in learning more about it. But it has good capabilities such as being able to generate architectural documentation, stuff like that, design docs straight from the code using annotations. I believe it's like JSDoc or JDoc type annotations, as well as to actually determine and generate those diagrams, even if there isn't documentation present. So that seems like a pretty powerful tool. And then I also want to generate MSIs. And so in order to do that, I'm going to use the Wix toolset, which is something that I have experience with, and fragmentation in CMake. So you can create your own Wix fragments, tie it into the CMake build or meta build if you're a purist in that respect. And you can generate MSIs automatically from your CMake. So if you have install targets, that sort of thing, then you can automatically generate the corresponding Wix XML that achieves whatever goal you desire. So those are a couple of things. I also intend on using SonarQube for quality code checking because, I'm limited somewhat in my C++ exposure, so I think it's probably a good idea to just double check that I'm using good, code quality practices as well as secure practices, because that's something I have very little experience in, especially for a system that has security as kind of a primary concern, any sort of home automation system. So that's kind of where I am with my general project frame. So feel free to post, by the way, if you have any ideas of improvements that I can incorporate into this code base. I would love to hear about it. So thank you very much. I think in the next video, I'm going to start going into specifics of OpenDDS, and I'll start, diving into that, and we'll see kind of where it goes. So have a great day.